Previously on the Dosyonkos podcast.
Oh my god, yo, that swing got more playtime than Sakura beat.
Bro, nah, realistically, that swing got more screen time than 10-10. That's facts too. That's not even a joke. That's facts. Back like we never left with another episode of the Dosyonkos podcast. You know the vibes. It's your boy, your co-captain SV, Samuel Vinsmoke, here with my main man, Deion Chapter. Deion, what's good, bro?
Oh, everything, man. Everything's good. How you feeling?
Yeah, you know what it is. Nice Sunday. Nice little Sunday.
Nice little Sunday.
Nice little Sunday. Oh, yeah, we chilling. So on the docket today, we're going to do our weekly recap. We've been watching for the past week. Chat a little about that, and then we're going to talk about some Sword Art Online, more specifically season 1 of Sword Art Online, and how it goes from a near perfect story to being quote unquote dog shit.
I'm done. That's it. Podcast is over. You guys got it.
That's it, bro. End the episode. But yeah, that's on the docket. We're gonna chat about Sword Art and how an anime can go from literal greatness to being like hard to watch.
Yeah,
like, hard to watch.
It was cringy, man.
yeah. A lot of the back end is really bad.
Oh, jeez, dude. All right, so I'll start it off with what I've been watching.
All right, for sure.
I picked up the last 2 episodes of Fire Force. They dropped, weekly Sunday anime with ramen.
Sure. The classic.
The classic. I'm not gonna front. It got a little corny. Fire Force kind of episode 7 kind of got a little corny, but I think that's in good faith to like the anime itself. Like it's pretty corny with some jokes sometimes. Especially when like Shinra's saying like, I'm gonna save everybody, hero man. I'll never let a girl cry in my presence, hero man. They let it go in there, but it kind of got a little corny. But there's a character, I'm not gonna try to spoil it, who I think a lot of people will enjoy as they see him. He's one of the pyrokinetics, and
okay,
I think he's a 3rd gen. Yeah, he might be a 3rd gen. They really didn't delve deep into what he is. They just kind of like threw him in there. But dude is dope.
That's tight.
Yeah, he's a dope character. But I don't want to spoil this because I know you haven't watched it yet, right?
Yeah, it's on my list. That's probably what I'm watching next. I don't have anything to watch right now. So that's probably what I'll watch. Catch up on that shit.
Okay. I'm telling you, man.
Weekly.
Episodes 3, 4, and 5, the evangelist character might be your favorite. He's mine. I'm not gonna lie. I took a hard turn.
He's cooler than Benimaru, bro. Because right now, if we're putting Shinra aside, Benimaru is my favorite character.
Okay, I totally forgot.
If he's cooler than Benny, I'm down. But I don't know, man. Benny is so tight.
Okay, so I have to let our fans know that I always side with villains. That's my person. So if a villain's cool, I'm instantly like vibing with them way more than like a hero. That's fair. Benimaru, yes, he's the real deal, man. That guy's real cool. But just because I'm biased towards villains, this motherfucker is crazy.
I feel you. I'm the opposite. I'm so biased towards hero. Fucking obnoxious. I'm like, this character's gonna beat everyone and save the day. Oh, that's my guy. That's my guy. He's gonna do everything possible to save this one person. That's my guy.
That's why you're Shanks and I'm Kaido.
You out here blowing up mountains. I'm here stopping wars and shit. What it is.
Oh, I mean, in segueing into that, One Piece was the other anime on my list. So I don't have to worry about spoiling that with you.
Oh, nah. You can talk all you fucking want about that shit.
So spoilers, people. I'm going to talk about some One Piece. So if you're not ready for that, please skip ahead like 10 seconds. And then when you get to 10 seconds and it's exactly at the point where it's a spoiler, yeet.
Oh, fuck.
I hope someone does skip ahead 10 seconds and just gets to me saying yeet. But yeah, the old man, that dude, is trying to teach Luffy the ways. They just found out that he knew Gold Roger, and Luffy's like training real hard. Just a typical BS. Like it's just a little bit more like filler, like non-filler.
Yeah,
like
it's just like they needed a chance for Luffy to get stronger. So like him in this prison is just a chance for him to get stronger without him actually having to do like a whole training situation. Yeah. So like
dude doesn't have to time skip again. Like we don't have to have a time lapse. Like
he's definitely killer though.
Yeah. So
this man Hyo.
Mm-hmm.
That means true.
The man's the goat.
He looked mad little too, but I saw a clip of the episode when he punches the alpaca man. Mm-hmm. I seen a clip of that shit. That shit looks tight. He's so tiny, but he just looks so brolic.
He let the is it Rio?
Yeah, the Rio. Yeah,
the Rio. He let the Rio.
Hockey, yeah.
I like the name of that. I wish they would have used that for hockey instead. I don't like the name hockey. I don't know
why. Nah, hockey's a sick name, bro.
I like Rio. Right? How do you say it again?
Rio.
I like that.
It's like just a different kind of hockey, but it's still hockey.
Yeah, everybody has that, right? What was the name of it in Skypiea?
Oh, nah, everyone doesn't have Rio. No. Rio is just like everyone has hockey. You mean?
Yeah, like in Skypiea, they had a different name for it because the two people who was under Enro, they had like the observation hockey.
Oh yeah, they call it mantra. They call it
mantra. Yeah,
but it's exactly the same as observation, just different name.
I like how they pull that into One Piece, like different. Yo, One Piece really holds it down, bro.
That's how it would be, bro. That's how it would be. Like if you have this one central thing, like different regions would call it different things, bro. So like it just makes sense in the world that like if you have someone in a sky island, they would call something different based on their culture. You know what I mean? It just makes sense.
Why is One Piece always holding it down in like real life terms, bro?
Fucking goat, bro. It's a fucking goat. It just deals with real shit like
all the time.
All the time, bro.
And that's what I was gonna try to say too earlier. I hate how like animes have filler, but like One Piece keeps me on like the fence because their filler is kind of filler, but it's like also not filler. Like someone learns like one tactic that is going to be useful in an upcoming fight, and the whole show is just based around like that tactic, and nothing else in the show really matters. But it's just like you have to watch it. So it's like where in Naruto, you're like, all right, I don't need to watch this.
Yeah.
Like someone could watch a filler of like One Piece and be like, oh, okay, he needed this to fight Kaido. I get it. Yeah. And if you can't tell someone like, all right, you don't need to watch these episodes because like, nah, you might be like confused when he gets there, and all of a sudden you're like, how'd you figure out how to do this? And you're like, all right, well,
yeah. One Piece has the best type of filler because the way Oda writes the manga is that because it's been going for so long, he doesn't expand on a lot of things in the manga. Mm-hmm. So like something will happen this is a perfect example. In Whole Cake Island, there's a scene where Brook and Pedro are like trying to sneak into the castle, and they hide in this like the soldier or whatever. Like in the manga, it's like one page or one panel or something like that. But like they have a whole sequence in the anime that shows you like how it would go. So like it's filler because it didn't happen in the manga how it did, but like they just expanded on a moment that did happen in the manga. So it's not really filler because it's still canon. You know what I mean? It's fucking weird.
That's
so weird. Like, and One Piece does have filler that doesn't matter, but like it's always like at the end of an arc, and it's like 3 episodes. They have like a 3-episode filler arc, and then it just moves on to something else. So you could skip those. But like if it's in the arc, you need to watch the shit.
Because like the filler like at the end of Alabasta where they picked up Robin and like
wasn't filler though.
But 2 of those episodes were kind of filler, and then she just popped up, and so like like you so
One Piece, bro, it's a different breed, bro.
It's a whole different
I don't know. It's a different breed.
It's different than what we're about to talk about.
Oh yeah, for sure. 'Cause One Piece for sure has definitely declined at certain points, and it's like it's been running for 20 years. It's not going to stay steady on the incline for forever. So it has its decline, but like to have your decline in the first season is not where you want to be. That's where Sword Art is.
You don't want your second arc to be.
Yeah, you don't want your second arc to be dog shit, because that's kind of what it is.
Yeah. So do you want to drop the disclaimer, or the do you want to do the like overview of what season 1 is, or you want me to do this one?
So I'll talk about the synopsis. Yeah. So basically, we're talking about Sword Art Online, and Sword Art is what they call an isekai genre anime, which basically means like the story is like in a virtual world. So people travel to a virtual world, and the dealings of the show is in this virtual world. So in the setting of Sword Art, they're playing a MMO game, which is like World of Warcraft. These kind of like huge multiplayer games. Yep. So the Sword Art Online, that's the game. And the premise of it is our main character goes to play this game, and when the game is launched, people who played, they don't realize that they cannot log out the game. So there's no logging out, and if you die in the game, you die in real life. So the game, it's not a game anymore, it's real. So basically the first half of season 1 is following our main character Kirito on his journey to clear the game and basically survive and get everybody out of there safely. So that's the premise of like the first half. And then second half is a whole different beast where shit goes wrong.
Yeah, we'll delve into that once we get there. So
we talk about the first half first, because in my opinion, the first half is like, well, it's not even half. The first 14 episodes is like a damn near perfect story. Like I wouldn't give it a 10 because I couldn't give it a 10 because there's definitely things that are like not bad, but like that are just not good. Like it's not a perfect story. It's not a perfect story. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like I give it like a 9.6. Where if you were to round it up, it'd be a 10. You know what I mean?
I'm with you.
Yeah. So just the first 14 episodes, because the story they tell within those 14 episodes is damn near perfect.
I'm with you on that. And
damn near perfect.
And to all the fans, so if you guys are listening and you haven't caught up on Sword Art Online or SAO, please watch the first 14 episodes. And honestly, if you want to save your soul, just stop right there.
Stop there. Facts.
But we're gonna talk. This is spoilers, so we're gonna talk about this. So please watch the first 14 episodes. Come back and hang out, listen, and reflect on our feelings. And if you don't care, stick around. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah. So do you want to start it? You sound like you were ready. Like hit us off, man. Get it.
Okay, so like the through line for the story. So like the way I kind of broke down the first 14 and then the back half is that they both have like a similar story, whereas like they're trying to beat this game, but the through line of both halves are just vastly different. And like the back half through line is really bad, and the first half through line is really good. So like the through line between the first 14 episodes is basically Kirito's relationship with Asuna and how they deal with each other. Even though she's not really in, like, she's in episode like 2, and then she's not in another like episode for like 3-4 episodes. So Kirito can deal with other girls, but it's still, the through line is still how they interact, and not even how they interact, basically how they fall in love with each other. And they clearly demonstrate how these two people in this virtual world can fall in love with each other. Like, it's clear as day. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas the back half, it has the same kind of through line, but it's just like weird and tainted because of the circumstances of the relationship. Yeah. And I'm not going to expand on that until we get there, because I'm not going to taint the beginning, because the beginning is fucking good. So that's just what it is. And like, if we're gonna start, I guess we can start off with Kirito's like character, because he's fucking sick in terms of like everything, like his mentality And my favorite part about him is that like he puts on a facade that he's like an arrogant, like asshole, cocky dude. Yeah. But like he's really conflicted with like think in the first episode gives him conflict for the entire show. Like leaving Klein in the first episode like really weighs on him super hard. So you can see how he puts up this facade, but he also deals with like real emotions because he feels shitty for so long about leaving Klein in the first town when they all realize they can't leave. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's just he's just so sick, bro. I can't say enough about him. He's too sick.
It's hard to unpack that character, Kirito, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because it's one of those like things you hear in like real life too. Like, I'm not cocky, I'm confident. Like, as soon as this happens, so we're not really spoiling anything anyone. Like, episode 1 is pretty much just literally they get stuck in the game.
Yeah.
That's how they let you know.
Yeah.
And even in that episode, you can tell he's like, I've done this, like, I'm a beta tester and I have an extreme leg up on the competition.
Yeah, for sure. And his
person, he's like, I've played these games so much that he himself felt so confident. So like, sometimes he comes off as cocky and like you said, like arrogant, but it really is kind of more of a confidence level I feel with him. And that's why it's so hard to like distinguish it sometimes. Cause you're like, is he just being like confident right now? Because like, he just knows the in and outs of the game. So he's going to get to level like 20 faster than everyone else and be that strong. Or is it because he's nervous because, you know, he's trying to put on that facade?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both because, like, I think he does put up a facade, try and, like, be more, like, I guess, macho. But at the same time, like, he can't really hide. He's really bad at hiding how he feels in certain situations. Like, Klein almost immediately, when he meets him again, he understands he still feels bad about leaving him on the day one. Yeah. Like when they meet in like what's like floor of like 40 or some shit like that. Like when he meets him, he's fighting the wolves with Klein after like the whole thing with Sachi. Yeah. So like he sees them again, and he immediately once Kirito leaves, Klein realizes you're still feeling bad. Like you don't have to feel bad about that shit. Yeah. So he's really bad at like hiding his emotions and shit.
It's kind of cool though that like that's one of his like character flaws, I guess.
Yeah.
That he does struggle with keeping that stuff hidden from other players.
Yeah.
I was like thinking when I was watching that scene, I'm like, yo, did this boy really just leave him on red? And like he's
bro,
like, yo, gotta party up.
Deadass.
I feel like it's needed for the character development of Kirito. Because he needs to be by himself. You know, like he needed to do this on his own.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think because he knew the information of the game, maybe what we didn't get just like explained to us, maybe partying up wasn't the best because it seemed like for all of us who are gamers, like, which is weird. Like, I think that's why it resonated with me a little bit more because I'm also a gamer, like intrinsically.
Yeah, for sure.
Like a lot of the game had a single player mentality. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like you needed to get people for raid bosses, but there was rare item drops for the last hit.
Yeah.
So in a game where now they're taking real life animosity and jealousy and putting it into a game where it's like, you know, in a normal time, like, all right, I didn't get the last hit, whatever, man, this means nothing to me. Have the rare item. But in a game where like you getting that, you got that cool ass sword.
No, he got the cloak. That's the first one he got.
The dark cloak, right?
Yeah, that shit was tight. That reveal was tight, bro.
So clean, bro. So clean. So like that is it's meaningful. You know, it's not just like. Sure. And who was I forgot the guy's name, and I'm not gonna look it up, but
the blue hair guy,
the guy who rushed in,
Diavel or something like that. Yeah,
something weird to get the last hit. It got smoked up, like literally smoked.
Yeah,
because just to get that.
Yeah, like that's what really is like. You said it perfectly. Like it puts animosity, whereas it normally wouldn't be that. But like if it was a normal game, like you got the last hit, whatever, it doesn't matter. I could run this boss again. You know what I mean? Whereas now it's like a real thing, like because the person who gets that last hit has a huge leg up on everybody else, and this is like real life now. So like him getting that cloak just makes his chance of survival that much higher. You know what I mean?
And that's what the wild thing about this. Like that's why I enjoy the storyline because one, I resonate with it.
Yeah.
Two, I can understand the concepts, and this might actually be, that might be like a big deterrent. So why people might not even rate it as high as we probably do.
Yeah.
Because like, I understand the concepts of the type of game they're playing.
Yeah.
So when like they do an action in the game, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. But now it's amplified times 10.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's one of those wild situations because you want people to like work together, and you can see like the constraints on working together.
Yeah.
And that's where like the guilds and stuff come up. Like,
yeah, for sure.
But so yeah, that dude Kirito. So that's kind of like a big gist on Kirito. Like,
yeah, and even during that episode Beater, like it really shows his character again because he basically takes like all the animosity that would be towards the beta testers and puts it on himself after that fight. You know what I mean?
Understand why he did that.
I guess because I think he just has. I'm not sure if it's just like his personality of like wanting to take things onto himself, like on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Because I think once Diavel died and he knew he was a beta tester, I think he felt like he couldn't be giving them a bad name. Mm-hmm. Because they immediately assumed that because Kirito was a beta tester, he knew the fight was different and he didn't say anything, which is not the case. He realized like during the fight, like, oh, that's not a whatever sword, it's a Todachi now, or whatever the case may be. So he noticed that in the fight. So they're giving beta tester a bad name because of that. So Kirito's like personality of taking all this stuff on his own comes through, and then you see that through the whole show of him just taking on burden after burden by himself.
Yo, he really
constantly.
Yeah, he was really holding shit on his chest for a minute.
Yeah, and it doesn't even, that's his personality, and it doesn't even make it any better that what happened with his first guild when they all died, like that trauma basically made it so Kirito can never get close to anyone ever again.
Yeah.
And that's how I think they clearly demonstrate how Kirito would fall in love with Asuna, because she's the first person who's able to break down that wall that he put up after that. You know what I mean? Like, she literally, the way I see it is that they both gave each other what they needed in that world.
Mm-hmm.
So in turn of Kirito, Asuna gave him like the peace of mind that he doesn't have to be like he doesn't have to be going hard all the time. Like,
yeah,
he can have someone who can protect him. He's gonna have to protect everybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that just that's let the weight off of his shoulders.
That's kind of what she said that though, right? And she's like, I can protect you. Like,
that's literally what she said, and that's when they decide to get married, because that's the final wall that Kirito needed to break down. Whereas for Asuna, Kirito gave her the chance to really live in this world, because she wasn't living in this world. Yeah. She was just only solely focused on trying to clear the game and trying to get back to the real world. So she was losing days of her life in this world. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Kirito made her realize that, like, now we're not losing a day of our life in the real world because we're stuck in here. Like, we're getting a day over here in this world. So we can't let that go slip by. You know what I mean? So that's how they clearly dictate, and they clearly show how these two characters fall in love, and that's the main through line through the whole first 14 episodes.
Yeah, that's fact. But I mean, you also, I would like you to touch upon episode 3 that we were speaking about, because you went over it, and you said the name Sachi and like his first guild and why he became so hard. And I feel like I feel like that's a big,
that's a big moment.
Yeah, that did set the precedent for probably episodes like 5 through 9.
That sets the precedent for every episode until the episode with Liz, I think. Because when he gets the episode when they get stuck in the dragon's nest, you can see that Liz kind of breaks down. I don't know if it's Liz per se, but the situation they go through together kind of breaks down one of Kirito's walls. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Where he's like,
So
Sam was talking about, so in episode 3, he joined up with a guild called the Black Cats. And this guild,
the Moonlit Black Cats.
Yep, the Moonlit Black Cats. And there was 6 members in the guild, one of them being a girl named Sachi. and Sachi didn't really want to be in the game anymore. She was having like negative feelings and negative thoughts, and she wanted to pretty much die. She was like, I'm tired of being here.
Yeah, she's like, I shouldn't have left the town of the beginnings. I don't want to die in here. Like, she really was going through it, which is understandable because that kind of trauma, like, I'm glad they showed somebody with that mindset, because that would 100% happen to multiple people. Like, you go into this game, a full dive, thinking it's a game, and then now you can't leave, and if you die in the game, you're dead.
Yeah, so
like it would cause an incredible amount of trauma.
Yeah, and that's gonna come into play kind of later. So Sachi was probably one of the so before we even go on to that, I want to say the way the anime is set up, there's a lot of time skips in between, and we're not talking like time skipping where people just gain power. It's like a legitimate, like it goes from like
time passes.
Time passes rapidly in this. So you go from like 1 day to like 2 months and a year. So Sachi they're kind of deep in this, and Sachi is, I want to say, is Kirito's first like love interest.
For sure.
And like this is the first person to kind of invest her feelings into Kirito, and also she kind of put more weight on him. So like as we were saying before,
1,000%.
He takes weight onto himself, and she lets him know, and kind of that might be his first wall that needed to be broken down. Like he was so about being by himself, and then he wanted friendship. And then he met this group. But by not telling them how strong he was,
that's the biggest thing. We should say that. So like the Moonlit Black Cats, the guild, they weren't like frontliners like Kirito. They were like, he was like double their level. So they were in the 20s, and he was like level 45. So he's significantly stronger than him. But when he met them, he didn't tell them his real level. He told them he was like around the 20s. So they think he's around their level. So that's kind of the basis of why the bad things happen, is him not being upfront with being a beater.
Yep.
Which comes down to him like just being a beater.
Yeah. And that's what's so wild about this anime, is that they pull in real life concepts about holding your true identity, masking it in a world where you have to be more realistic. So like in a normal game, you can lie about that, because nothing, like if something bad happens, it reset, you restart. Right. But now it's more of a real life situation. Like kind of like if you lie in person, you can cause real harm to people.
Big facts.
Yeah, and that's kind of what ends up happening. He causes some harm to the Moonlit Black Cats, and I'll keep the spoiler to ourselves.
More than harm, bro.
But it sets him up to now be so emotionally. He was traumatized. Now
of course.
Now he has. And this was before he met up with Klein, right? So like now he has leaving someone who he wanted to be friends with and worrying about them, to now causing harm to a guild, a small guild who was actually having genuine fun.
Exactly. That's the part I think that kills him the most. Like they were genuinely enjoying themselves a lot.
Yeah.
And his arrogance, this is the point, like this is the point where he's arrogant as fuck.
Yeah.
Like his arrogance, I'm not even gonna say it, they all die. We're not gonna talk about they all die. Yeah. So basically they go into a dungeon which has a high level room where they can't teleport out of. But Kirito kept his mouth shut because he shouldn't know about these rooms, because he shouldn't be a higher level. So they carelessly go into this room, they get locked in there, they can't teleport out, and all of them die. And he sees them die. Not that they just die, he sees them pass away. And not only that, then the leader commits suicide in front of him, bro. That shit is so traumatic. Like it's so traumatic, bro.
So that puts Kirito in a bad spot. Like bad spot.
He goes to basically kill himself. Almost like to go after the Santa boss.
Yeah. Yep.
Like he's going there to die in combat.
Yep. And
that's what he's going for.
Mm-hmm. And boom. I mean, obviously, spoiler, he doesn't.
He's the boss. He doesn't fucking die. He just kills that shit.
And so his character is just so wild. And then they get to the point. So we'll skip ahead. So there's time skips a little bit, and they get to a point where he meets up with Asuna again.
Yeah.
And Asuna is now in the top guild. So now there's guilds. People are working together to beat bosses. Sam mentioned it earlier. There's the front line. So the front line is pretty much all the skilled players
who are trying to clear the game.
Yeah, are trying to clear the game. And then there's people like information brokers. Like, is his name Agil or Ad?
I think it's like
Agil.
Agil. Like they pronounce it so weird. Like Agil.
Agil, which is funny because he's the only black character. I feel like
he's real though. That nigga though.
He's so real. So
he's still real though. He got an axe.
He did have the axe. Yo, he was so savage. And
OD.
Like Asuna is now a part of what's the name of it was the Blood Dragons, right?
Oh no.
What's the name of the guild?
What is their guild called again?
Let me see. I think I have the name here.
I fucking forgot.
Second in command of the guild, Knights of the Blood Oath.
Okay, Blood Oath, yeah.
Knights of the Blood Oath. I have my little like cheat sheet up here, so I was like, there's so much in there, man. Like, Knights of the Blood Oath. So she's second in command, which is like she went from being just some. And you see it in their first fight that they're both kind of next level, but like
she's saucy, yeah.
And you kind of like it's weird with her because Asuna hasn't played this game before, and she's next level. But Kirito's played the game before, and he's next level because of it. So it gets you thinking, like, is she just a better gamer?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
And that's kind of something I wanted like to theorize and talk about a little bit on. Because like I know women get bad raps in video games because they don't game as much. And you always see like these big names of gamers and like professional gamers who are males. And women don't get that same respect. It's like you see like you hear it all the time, and like this kind of has that same feel with life. Like you hear that all the time, like, oh, she's just a girl, like she's not good.
Yeah.
But like Asuna, like to give you a background, she's never played a game before, becomes second, and is on par with this boy Kirito, who's a beater.
Exactly.
Who's legit Alfredo sauce. Yeah. So what does this make her? You know what I mean? Like
yeah. Well, we don't actually see like how she levels though, because like she could be going super hard like Kirito level too. You know what I mean? Like we don't know her level when they're in the first fight. So she could, even though she's not a beater, or she could still be on the grind where she got that strong. And like we're saying, like her whole mentality in the beginning was, I have to get strong and beat this game. So she was probably going overboard. You know what I'm saying? So she probably got super strong that way.
All right.
But she's fucking saucy though. She's sick.
So in the game, like in the show, she's tier S tier. She's S tier.
She's literally, there's only like 3 people in S tier, and one of them is the game master who's a cheater.
Yeah.
So like they're in a class of their own, Kirito and Asuna. Like they're literally, it's crazy.
It is so wild. So then we get to the blue-eyed demon, and they kind.
Man, this is an episode right here.
So this
is an episode right here, bro.
That is the episode. That is a good ass episode.
Yeah, this is the episode. So basically, this is like later into the game. So like they're in like the 60s or 70s floors now, or some shit. So Asuna. Wait, did we pass the episode with the guy who's like guarding Asuna and shit? That whole conversation with Kirito?
Yeah, I think
we passed that.
I think that's the sword dance, like where I think that's the episode right before this.
Okay.
So if you want to touch on that, definitely. I skipped over that because I found that to be like a little. I mean, I guess this is when you find out his dual wielding skills. So I guess it's important. So
you find out the dual wield in the Glee Mize episode. I think the one with Kuridio, like the guard who guards Asuna, I think that's a good episode because it kind of shows the cracks that Asuna's starting to have with her guild now, which gives her the chance to like go party up with Kirito when she realized the guild's not gonna be what she wanted in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. So
I think that episode's pretty good, and I think the whole moment with Kirito is good with the duel because it just shows that like Kirito, like they perceive him as a beater, but he's not even really trying to deal with anybody else. Like, he wouldn't have dueled this guy if this guy wasn't being a dickhead and shit, and wasn't trying to control Asuna. Like, he has no control over her. Like, what are you trying to do? Grabbing her arm and shit. Like,
yo, he did.
He was violent, bro. He was violent on Kito's woman, bro. I would expect him to go off. I would expect my man to go off, bro. Are you kidding me?
He did that. He goes, yo, who you grabbing like that, homie? Like,
yeah, bro.
And then, put your tools up.
And then the guy has the audacity. The best part is when he challenged Kito to the duel, and Kito doesn't even answer at all. He looks at Asuna. He looks at her, and she just nods her head. He's like, okay, fine. Yeah. Yes, and then he just wipes the floor with this guy. Clean.
Smokes him.
Clean.
Yeah.
Not even a question, bro.
Wow. I mean, but that's so, because then he has to fight the guy. So yeah, there's just so much that's involved with that, because then he has to fight the head, Heathcliff.
Yeah, that's later though. That's after Gleam Eyes and shit.
But wasn't that before? Because didn't he go on, like, have to join the guild?
Yeah, so that's after.
That's after.
That's after. So like this happens, and then the Gleam Eyes episode happens where he fights in the dungeon. So like, let's talk about the Gleam Eyes episode.
Yeah.
So this episode I think is good because it kind of shows the different mentalities people have. So like they show that army leader from the first floor, Cravats, like they show how like power and shit can really just corrupt your mind.
Yeah.
Because like this man was not thinking straight going into that dungeon with the people he had, bro.
No.
So basically what happens is that while Kirito and Asuna are like exploring a dungeon, they come up on the next boss room. So they go into the boss room, they realize, oh, this boss is insane, so they obviously leave. Then they see this guy, Cravats, who's like the leader of the Libertarian Army from the first floor or whatever. So like he's not even in a guild, bro. Like they have no strong people. Barely. They don't have anybody good. In my opinion, I didn't see anybody, like, they didn't give any information of how they would be good. So he's taking these regular ass army people into this boss. And obviously they all get smoked.
Yep.
Causing Kirito, Asuna, and Klein to jump in. And yeah, like, and the crazy part is Asuna jumps in first, bro.
Yo,
she jumps in first.
No hesitation.
No, she hesitated. She was like, "Why am I doing this?" And then she just did it.
Yeah.
Yes,
but that's Kirito, like no hesitation, because Kirito like stopped. He's like, he's gonna get smoked. I'm not going in there.
Yeah, but she's more compassionate. Women are more compassionate, bro.
Yeah. She
didn't want to see this nigga die, even though he's an idiot.
Yeah, they told him like
he should have died. Like you're a dummy, bro. So yeah, they go in. Cravats is getting worked. They end up going in to save these people, and then they realize the boss is too hard. So Kirito debuts his new skill, which is a unique skill only he has in the game, which is dual wielding. And then the man hits a 50-hit combo and kills the boss, bro. That shit is so sick.
He was in the lab working on that combo.
He was labbing crazy, bro.
That's so cool. I did like that episode. That was a strong episode.
Yeah, that was a strong fucking episode, dude.
Jeez, and then that gave him the ability to go off and get married, right? Like, what was that?
Nah. So after that episode, I think he gets put in the paper or whatever, and then he gets called.
Oh yeah, he gets called for doing.
He gets called to Heathcliff next, right?
I think so. So I'm looking at the episode list, and it goes the Blue-Eyed Demon, Crimson Killing Intent.
Oh no! So Crimson Killing Intent is with the Kura deal again, where he poisons him and tries to kill his ass.
Yo, that's a big episode too, because Asuna comes through and saves him.
Mm-hmm. And then that solidifies in his mind that she could protect him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right. Yeah. So
yeah,
that's what I was saying. So yeah, that episode was big. So like he gets put in the paper, found that he can do a wield. Everyone thinks he's keeping information. He has to battle Heathcliff to like prove.
Yeah, that's
how it is.
Yeah, that's after this. It's also the Fairy Deal thing is actually a pretty big, because that's the first time I think Kirito, or the first time we see Kirito kill a person. Like he kills that guy.
No, he did. He did Orange. Yeah, he did kill the person, right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he
Oh,
killed.
because Asuna couldn't kill the person.
Asuna was gonna kill him, and then he played it off, and he gets him with the hand, bro.
Yeah.
Like straight
bare-handed him.
Bare hand, bro. That's big. That's the first time we see Kirito actually kill a person, and we know how he feels about this game, bro. Yeah. So like, that's huge.
Yeah, that kind of takes a big toll. That's like a big player, and so yeah. All right, I'm gonna save this for like arc 2, but I think that situation right there plays a big role in the next season or next arc.
Okay.
Of what happens. So just remember that. Like, yeah, so that was the first time we see him kill somebody.
Yeah.
And he just like he didn't care. Like
at that point he didn't care at that point. Because he was gonna kill Asuna, bro. So he was like, nah, it's not happening, bro.
Yeah. He
was
like,
kill me, that's fine. You're not gonna kill my wife, bro. Nah,
not today.
Not today.
So yeah, that was actually a big, and he saw another person die in front of him. And that's like the third person he's seen die, like who didn't want to.
Yeah, and he has, yeah.
So yeah, that was a big. Yeah, this is why we said the first half is so big because there's so many like moments where you're just like, wow, this is like a big episode for his character.
It's so good. Like the first 14, bro. Every episode just builds on the storyline and his character, and it's just man.
So.
Can't say no about the first 14.
So the Crimson killing, this is when they get, like, after that happened, right? Then the Guildmaster, Heathcliff, was like, all right, bro, like, you can't, we understand that, like, stuff is wild here. Go do your thing with your girl. They go off, they get married, and they meet up with Yui.
Nah, that's after. So he fights Heathcliff first, and he has to join the guild.
No, I thought that was...
Oh, no, that happened before.
Yeah, that happened. That's how he almost got killed.
Yeah, that's my bad.
That's what I was like saying. I'm like, wait, no, that was right before because he fights Heathcliff. He almost beats him.
He cheats.
Yeah, he fucking cheats. What a fucking cheater, man.
Cheater, bro.
And then they meet up with Yui, who you find out is savage. But so they get married, and this is what I wanted to speak about. This is weird as shit to me. I'm not gonna lie, because at this point we find out that Kirito's 17.
16.
I thought he was 7. Or was he 16 and was Asuna 17?
Asuna is 17. She's a year older than him.
Yep. So, like, I would never get married that young, but that's how they feel, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And then they adopt a child.
Yeah.
So now they have a full family. Can you imagine? You murdered somebody. like you dead serious. Like this isn't just regular game murdering somebody. Like this isn't your Grand Theft Auto rolled up. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I ran over somebody. This man thought about it, murdered somebody, married a woman, and is now the father of a child.
Yeah, and the child is not even a baby. She's like 8.
Yeah,
she's like 8 years old.
He's so crazy. What kind of mental that's not where it didn't fall off for me. Like that's where I started questioning. I'm like, all right, this is a little weird. Like I can't connect to that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why would that even be a thing that you would want to do as a 16-year-old? But then again, like these people are dying like early. Like this isn't this isn't a game anymore. So
exactly,
like he's trying to live his best life.
And I don't think when they found Yui, he specifically like was like, oh, we're gonna adopt this girl as our daughter. I just think it kind of ended up that way when they realized like what her story was. Like she has no memories.
Yeah.
She doesn't deal with nobody. So I think because she has nobody else and shit, they kind of felt the need like, oh, we have to take care of this girl. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. You know, but then
it makes sense for me.
But they just went for it. Like they didn't even like second guess it. Like it felt like they were just like, yeah, we're
they don't second guess anything though. It's rare for them to second guess anything at all.
So
you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Like, Kirito would really be all in on almost everything.
God. So, do you have anything to say about the Yui episode? Because I'm gonna move into like the when she gets her memory back.
Nah, I think it's pretty good. I think the story with her making their house like a little home, I think it's really nice.
Yeah, I think
it's good.
But I don't think it's like too impactful on what happens like next.
Nah, it not really impactful next. I think it impacts like how strong their feelings for each other are.
Yeah.
So that's basically the biggest impact she has on them, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just solidifying their relationship to be pretty much.
All right. So the Yui episode, the girl in the morning dew, Yui solidifies their relationship. That now they're kind of like, now we're here for each other. Like that's
it. For sure. Yeah.
So that moves into the next episode where it's Yui's heart, but it was kind of like said before by Heathcliff that they couldn't just like both of them are warriors at heart, which is weird. So they just like couldn't walk away from fighting. Like they wanted to get out of the game just as much as anyone. So their characters' ideals kind of set them up for that. And I don't remember this episode fully. I just remember they were trying to go through a dungeon. Do you remember a lot about this episode?
Okay, this is the one where Yui gets a memory back, right?
Yeah, and like they're going in the dungeon.
They go to the town. They go to the town of beginnings on floor 1 to try and see if Yui can get her memories back.
Yeah. So
they can get it, and then they meet this girl who her friend is like stuck in a dungeon. He can't get out.
Yeah. Okay.
So she was like, "Oh, I heard these 2 strong people are in floor 1 randomly. Could you help me out?" So obviously they help her out. And then they go to meet this guy, and he's stuck behind like this boss. It's like level 90 on like a level like a 44. He's like he should not be there. I don't know why he's even there.
Yeah, they're like
I have no idea why he's fucking there, bro. So he's stuck behind this boss. He can't get out, obviously. So they go and try to save his ass, but in turn they have to fight this boss. And obviously they're not strong enough to fight it. Kirito and Asuna together. So Yui reveals that she's not actually a player, but she's like an NPC program from the game.
Yeah.
Which is fucking a crazy reveal, bro, which makes sense.
Yeah, that was a big reveal drop. And
like, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. And when she got hit with the fucking the thing and his eyes started going crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like the game glitched out. I was like, this is a glitch. Yo, he's glitching right now. He's like I thought that was so sick.
Yeah, that shit is tight. And the way she takes him out is fucking with that giant ass sword.
Yeah, the firewall.
Sick, hell yeah.
I felt like that was like one of those things that kind of was like a cool piece of like Easter, like not like it's not an Easter egg, but like a cool piece of like what do they call it when you take something from like a real world situation and put it into like another situation? Like not tech, but so like she pulled a fire sword, which is pretty much a firewall, which is to stop viruses, and she deleted the guy. Yeah, and I was like, that's so sick. And then she got caught.
Obviously, yeah. And then Kirito, being the god he is, bro, goes into the system admin shit, and turns her into a game item. So they'll have her forever. Like, that shit's so tight, bro.
He's a smart boy, yeah.
Bro, to come up with that, like, instantly, bro, to be like, nah, fuck that. I'm about to just hack my way into this, bro.
Big brain plays, pimpin'. Big brain play.
Big brain, for sure.
So now they lose their kid, and they're all sad and shit, like, which is weird. Like, so now, like, to be 16, and you seen your first girl die, you killed a whole gang of people. You murdered a human, like you literally killed someone. You got married
with your bare hands.
Yeah,
with your bare hands.
God, Bear Grylls out here. Like, then you get married. You have a kid.
Adopt a kid.
You adopt a kid.
Dies.
Kid dies. That's your life right now. You're like,
bro, it's crazy when you think about all the trauma this man must have. I'm gonna touch on that later, because I think it comes to a good like culmination in the second half. Yeah. Like all the trauma this man had to deal with in these 2.5 years in this game is truly insane.
So insane.
It's fucking wild, bro.
So now their child dies. Like we said, there's a lot of time that goes on between these things. So after this, they get back to the front lines. They join back up with the guild, the Blood Oath, and now they're going to a raid boss. And what level was this? This was floor
75. 75. Yeah.
So they're on floor 75. They meet up with Heathcliff, and they gotta fight to get through this boss together, like a bunch of guilds.
The Skull Reaper.
Yeah, the Skull Reaper.
That shit is mean.
That shit was a mean boss, man.
That shit was mean, bro.
Yeah. So oddly enough, you get through this whole joint. They're fighting with Heathcliff, and the story goes that Heathcliff has never had his health drop below yellow.
It's a yellow, yeah.
And everyone's
already
like, we don't
sus. Already sus, bro. Already sus. Once Asuna said that, I was like, what you mean, bro?
Yeah,
that's suspect.
Where did this guy come from? So he had a shield that no one knew about, knew how he got it.
Yeah, he had no, it wasn't the shield, it was like a unique skill like Kirito had that buffs his defense or some shit like that, which is the shield. Which,
I thought it was
I'm not sure. I thought they said it's a unique skill like dual wielding.
Yeah, maybe it is. It's like he was always able to block the first attack.
Yeah, some shit like that. Yeah, so he's cheater. He's a cheater. Just know he's a cheater.
Fucking cheater. Heathcliff. That even sounds like a name that's a cheater. Heathcliff.
OD.
Yeah. Sounds like what's that dude from Gaston? Like that's just what Heathcliff.
Oh yeah, facts.
Like you hear those type of names, fucking, like, bro, you a cheater. Like
OD, bro. Sus ass name, bro.
Heathcliff. Name, bro. Heathcliff, bro. Anyway, so they. They're going hard. Him, the three gods, now they're at god tier at this point. Like 3 god tiers are fighting the Skull Reaper, and they're struggling a little bit, but their teams are holding it down. And then
Kirito was god tier in like episode 7, or not even. I think it's episode 3. It's episode 3 when he's on the bridge.
Yep.
He's god tier already, bro. Just imagine how god tier he is now on Lost 475.
Yeah.
Bro.
So you got Asuna, who's grinded so hard to get out because all she wants to do to get out this game went from S tier to god tier. You have a cheater, and he's
fucking cheater.
He made himself god tier, and then you got Kirito, our hero, the man of the hour. So yeah, they beat this joint, and Kirito calls out Heathcliff. He goes, so Kaiba Akihiro, right?
Akihiko, I think. Something
Akihiko.
Like that. Akihiko, yeah.
They're like, Kaiba, when he calls this guy the creator of the game, he goes, it's too tough to sit back and watch someone play your game when you want to be in it. He goes, this boy Kaiba goes, how'd you know? He goes, back when we battled, son, I knew you was cheating.
Bro, he really calls him out too, because Kirito has been thinking about this for a while, bro. He's been throughout the whole first episodes. He's like, where is Akihiko Kaiba? Where is he watching the game from? He has to be watching this shit from somewhere. So where is he? And that's always been in the back of his mind. So then when he's seen the guy in the Skull Reaper fight, he put 2 and 2 together. Like, oh wait, that's the motherfucker. That's him.
Yeah. That just shows you how big brain this boy is. So he's not only the most skilled fighter in the game, he's the biggest brain in the game. And Kaiba's just like, I knew you would be the one who I'd have to fight. So he already knew that Kirito was going to be the guy.
Of course.
So he gave him the opportunity to shoot the fair one with him.
Yep.
And he took off his invulnerability and got down to business, bro.
They got going busy. Hands. Good hands.
Good hands.
Good hands.
Getting busy. And this was a good fight. And so do we have to spoil this one to express how, because I feel like
we cannot spoil it. The end? Sure. Yeah, we can leave it. We can leave it up to people. They know he clears the game, but they don't know how.
Yeah, all right. So the ending
is
pristine.
Sick. Mm-hmm. It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good, that.
And I don't want to ruin the ending on that, but I feel like we're so deep that we already we kind of can, because if someone got this far, they already watched.
They know about a lot of the they watched it all pretty much if they even listen to our shit.
So Asuna jumps through, saves Kirito from dying, and that puts
sacrificed herself,
and that puts him in the fucking he went Super Saiyan. Right, he time skipped.
It's crazy. Like, and he doesn't. It's not even like he really goes like Super Saiyan in the way like he just goes harder. It's just that he has the will to not die now. You know what I mean? Because so he's like, I gotta take you with me, bro. Like you took the only thing I had, bro.
Yeah.
So you gotta go down with me.
Mm-hmm.
And he uses her sword to kill this man. Fucking beautiful. Oh my god. Clean. It's so good.
So clean.
So fucking good, man.
And that's how then he ends the world.
Yeah. So all 2,000 remaining people. I don't know if they say how much he started with, but 2,000 people at the end.
It was like 6,000 started.
It was like 6K, so 4K people died over the 2 years.
Yeah.
And 2,000 people ended up going back home. Well, minus, well, not all the 2,000. Yeah. Oh god.
My heart. Well, anyway, so him and Kaiba have a conversation, like big brain to big brain.
Yeah,
no smooth brains involved.
Hell no.
And he's just like, yeah, man, like, I kind of lost sight of what I wanted to be, like where I wanted. He goes, I've always wanted to have a castle in the sky, and I finally did it. But that kind of, that's one of my favorite quotes, like of all time. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
So like he just like, I don't know where I lost myself, but this didn't feel like how I wanted it to.
Right. Yeah.
And he like thanked him for ending it. Which is kind of fucked, because he could have just ended it whenever he wanted to, right?
He could have, yeah. I'm sure he could have just logged everyone out if he wanted to, but
yeah. So that was just so good to end. And then like Kirito wakes up and he just starts his regular life. But we forgot to mention though that him and Asuna told each other their real names and said they're gonna meet back up in the real life.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. So they said they're going to meet back in real life. Yeah, that's definitely huge.
Yeah, so that's huge. So he wakes up in the hospital. Long hair, don't care. And this is a
crazy hair, bro.
Yo,
crazy hair.
So my feeling is this: like, I want to know what type of hospital this boy was in, because how does this guy wake up and just walk again?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
that's. I know they do that a lot in movies and shit, but like that would not happen. My man was in a bed for 2.5 years without moving his legs. There's no way his muscles would keep him standing. No way.
2 years.
Yeah, there's no way.
So, do you have anything? I'm good. Do you have anything more to add to the?
No. The first 14 are damn near flawless.
And so I'll give my synopsis of why it was flawless. So I think it was flawless because the beginning, the intro was so intense. Like you got put like there was so much energy. The spin was crazy, and then you were like left on a cliffhanger like in the first episode. So you get hit with that, you get hit with instant action, you get hit with a great protagonist. You already know he's gonna be next level. He gives you like the chant of a lifetime, like I'm gonna survive. And you're like, yo, I'm so invested already.
Oh dear, bro. When he kills that first wolf, bro, he's like, I'm gonna fucking survive. I'm like, yes, you are, bro. Let's go.
Yes, you
Come
are.
on.
So you get great first episode. I like how they had their intro. They gave you a preview before they gave you the intro music. Soundtrack, beautiful.
Oh, really good.
I like that they kept the same energy throughout the whole arc. They didn't like change up the intro. 14 episodes, same intro for the arcs. And every episode was good. Every episode had meaning. And the ending was like what you wanted it to be.
Yeah.
But they gave you a little bit of struggle where you're like, oh my God, is this really how it's gonna be?
Yeah.
And then they gave you a good ending to the first arc. So like, other than some of the stupid things that happened,
yeah,
like him being a cheater and like like some missing like them. I had a problem with like how much time elapsed in the middle, and that made it hard for me to like keep track of some stuff because like, well, what happened in 6 months? Like a lot happens in 6 months. Like how do you get to level 40? Like what was he doing? They didn't really give you that information, but I think that added to the fact of it made the season good because they didn't have to give you filler then. Like they cut out all filler and just said these are 12 episodes of bomb fights. Like
they don't really ever show you him leveling up.
Yeah.
Like him grinding. They never really show that. They show him fighting monsters and stuff, but it's never him like grinding, like being this one monster over and over to get levels. Like it's not really like that.
So like I feel like they could have made it a long episode and like had him, figuring out different like quirks in a game, like how you do in any MMORPG.
Yeah.
But like they were like, nah, man, we're just gonna show you boss fights and good anime. Like animation top notch, fighting scenes top notch. So like Sam said, there were some things like it's pretty much perfect. Like for me, I would have gave it a 9.8. Like
the story itself is damn near flawless. Like there's details that don't hold up or you might be questionable, but like the overall arching story is literally so good.
Yeah, just super flawless.
Yeah, it's man.
So what are you gonna rate it? What do we give it as a team? You said 9.6?
Yeah, like 9.6. If we're not giving points, I'll give it like a solid 9. Because I can't give it a 10. Because we're giving points, then 9.6.
Okay, I'm with you. 9.6. Like, I was like 9.8.
9.6, bro.
All right, because I'm like, yo, this is such a like. I think it loses points once we talk about the second season, but like 9.6.
For sure.
So 9.6, everyone. We highly recommend the first 14.
Highly recommend.
If you don't even want to keep going after the first 14, you're not missing much.
You're not. Literally, the first 14 is literally a perfect story that has a beginning and an end.
Yep.
You can skip the rest and you will not miss anything.
So bum. Let's get into the fairy seed.
Oh man.
So I'll give the synopsis on this one. So it's the same thing. Kirito wakes up. He is now living in the real world, and he finds out that not everyone has woken up from SAO. And he goes to the hospital to visit Asuna, and he meets... I forgot the guy's name. It starts with an S, right?
Sugu, yeah.
Yeah, this
Sugu,
douche, this piece of shit. Sugu.
I hate this guy, bro.
Yo, guys are terrible. No, Sam says it's dog shit, and it's kind of weird for me because I like it a little bit more. I kind of like after watching it again. I was like, all right, I get why it was like this, but it was just shitty. Like, all right, don't let me. Yeah, it was shitty. I'm sorry.
All right, I'll say this: the hook of the season, is not bad. Not everyone woke up from SAO. So obviously, Asuna was one of the 300 who didn't wake up. And then they find out through Igil that she's stuck in this new game in a birdcage. Mm-hmm. So the hook of him having to go into a new game to save Asuna is so good. It's a great hook, but they don't land on it. They land it. They miss the mark completely. Completely.
So, like we said, he goes to talk to Asuna Sisugo, who's now taken over the Sword Art Online programming or server because her Asuna's dad is actually the CEO of the company. So I thought they're gonna go further with that. So like Sam said, she's stuck in a birdcage. Now he has to go back and save her. So you're like, oh, this is about to get good, right? Wrong.
Wrong. Fucking wrong, bro.
Like the return, I like how he comes in. He's still a gangster. He has all his skills unknown.
Yeah.
They don't know what's up. Yui's still alive, so we get that. Yeah. We get that resolution that it works. So the first episode's like, yes, thank you for the resolution. And then he meets Lifa.
Yeah.
And
which is like the first thing that's like that kind of brings the whole thing down.
Yeah, it just makes it bad.
Yeah.
So he meets Lifa. Lifa is chilling with her crew, and by her crew, just her. I didn't even learn this kid's name, but like because it felt like he was
Recon.
He's
not important.
He's just important. Super not, and that's the problem. He's not important, and he should be important. Like, why is he not important? He's Lifa's, who's like the next protagonist. Like she's the second main character of the plot, and her man's is even like like Klein didn't matter, but he mattered a lot. Like
no, Klein mattered. Klein mattered, and he didn't even have to be in the show.
Yeah,
he mattered just to give Kirito context to his character. That's why he matters. Whereas Rekon doesn't really give anything to Leafa's character, like barely.
Yeah, like these episodes, I kind of like. It just was a wash for me. Every episode just kind of seemed like thrown together. Like, you find out that Asuna's in the world tree, and it just gave off like, I'm just gonna talk over like an overview of this because I really didn't like this season.
Yeah.
For me personally, like every episode, like the I keep forgetting his name, Segu.
Yeah, Sugu. Yeah,
Sugu. He just had a rapey vibe. Like he was always trying like sexually assault.
OD, bro.
Which put me off. That's the second episode. Like,
bro, he does that in the room with Kirito, bro.
Yeah,
he's literally sexually assaulting Asuna when she's in a coma. I was so angry. Like he's smelling her hair, touching her face. I'm literally, I was fuming, bro. I was so mad.
And I was very like, and like Taylor, she was like, this is like, she's like, every episode I seem to catch you watching is just like them doing this, like someone getting like sexually assaulted. And I was like, yeah, kind of like the aliens when she breaks out.
Bro,
like,
that scene is literally might be the worst scene in the entire thing. That scene is so bad. It's like so cringy and like so hard to watch. Her just getting molested by these two tentacle monsters, bro. I know it's Japan and shit, and the culture's different, but come on, bro, that's not a good scene.
I think too, there's tentacle monsters, like, and
that's not a good scene, bro.
Yeah, it's not a good scene. But it doesn't even fit the overlay of the thing.
I wouldn't say it doesn't fit the overlay because it fits the guy, the Sugu's scumbag character. It fits him because they're his guards. So it makes sense that he would have some rapey ass monsters guarding his shit. You know what I mean? Because he's a rapey ass dude.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. That scene. I have that shit in my fucking phone. One of that shit I put on, like, that scene is like hard to fucking watch.
So like, Sugu, he pretty much now he's controlling people's brains, and that's what he's doing. He's doing research on people's brains. Yeah. So like they're trying to get like, so Kirito and Leaf are trying to get to the world tree, while Seku and Asuna are in the, like, Asuna's in the birdcage, and the Seku's running experiments, like some unethical, immoral type shit. So you are just like, this guy's just straight scumbag. Like, he has zero demon qualities. Whereas Heathcliff was a good villain because he's not all bad. And he shows you that in his last speech, where like, I wanted to create this castle in the sky, but I don't know how it turned into this. You know what I mean? So you can see that he's not a bad guy. He just got corrupted doing this thing. Yeah. Whereas Sugo is literally a terrible human with zero redeeming qualities. And just power. And that and it makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a cringy scene. And I'm like, ew, like, I don't even want to watch this anymore. Like, that's what I remember. Like, this is just like this has nothing to do with a plot. Like, like if she was just captured and he's holding her for ransom because like they could have took it in so many other ways than like, I'm gonna like sexually assault this person. Yeah. Like,
because we have to talk about like Sugo's whole thing was that he's been wanting to marry Asuna, but if she was awake, she would say no because she hates his guts.
Yeah.
And no one else knows that besides them. Okay. So because she's in a coma, he's taking advantage and trying to marry her while she's in a coma.
Which is facts.
Which is fucking insane, bro. Like, the man is a fucking disgusting human.
With this, if they did anything well, they made like a very like heinous character.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. They did do a few things well though. I'll definitely say I have a few things I wrote down that I think are pretty good.
And I did too. I liked how. All right, and so then we'll just get the bad stuff out the way and then talk about the good stuff.
All right, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And then the like just a weird moment with is it Sugiya? Yeah, Sugiya.
Suga, yeah, his sister.
His sister is just falling. Yeah, he's falling in love with him, and like she knows it, and she's like, and she
weird.
It's just like, and this, you're like, bro, come on, like, stop, like,
and We know because we know who Lufa actually is.
Yeah.
But in terms of the story, Kirito does not know who Lufa is.
Yeah.
And also, Kirito never shows any real like affection and shit to Lifa. He doesn't really like do anything like he would for Asuna. Like he always has these interactions with the girls who like him. Like literally almost every girl he meets likes him. From Liz to Silica to all these people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it makes sense how she would feel about him. But it's just weird because she knows who he is.
Mm-hmm.
And even when she didn't know who he is, when she finds out, she still feels this way. It's just weird.
Yeah, like she says like I want. It's like I should just never told you who I was and just be in love with you.
Yeah, bro.
And now it's just weird.
It was weird, and they make it a point for Kirito to never say Asuna's name until they get to the tree.
Okay.
Because they don't want to spoil the reveal, because she would know, because she had heard Kirito in real life talk about Asuna, so she would know that, oh, this is him. So they make it a point so he never says her name. Crazy. And honestly, that's what really that's the through line of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I have a cool line of this whole thing, so yeah, it's I don't know.
So hit it. Yeah, let him know, man. I want to hear this because I was just like done with this season, like realistically.
Yeah. So like the reason why I feel like it's so bad is because they try to make you like really sympathize and feel for Kirito and Lifa's relationship, but like we just can't feel for that, bro, because of the context it's in. Like, for real. we know that Suguha is Lifa. Mm-hmm. So like us seeing her act this way is just weird. And they explain it, so like it makes sense in terms of the show, I guess, but it doesn't make it any less weird. So they explain how Suguha is not really Kirito's actual sister. They're cousins or whatever the case may be. Like he's with their family or she's with his family. I don't really remember. But they're not really brother and sister. And when Kirito found that out, he kind of like pushed her away in a sense to like let her deal with it herself. So that happened, and then he went and got stuck at SAO. So like there was like a maybe like a 4-year period or something where they weren't really connected. Mm-hmm. So when that happens, when he comes back, I mean, he makes it a point to try and connect with Suguha because he'd been distant. And because of that, because he was cold for so long, and then he was being affectionate to her, it made her feelings confusing. Which obviously makes sense when you put it on paper, but the context of the relationship still makes it weird. You know what I mean?
It makes it super weird. It was like super weird.
Yeah.
And I felt like they could have done anything with that. Like,
they didn't have to do that.
Twists. Because like in a positive sense, she was so afraid to go back into the virtual thing because her brother was trapped in there. Yeah. And then when he got out, she went back in, like, you know, so it's like this weird conflicting thing, like, of emotions. Like, that would have been a cool twist. And then for them to like maybe just instantly start working together to save Asuna. Yeah, and then that's how they build their bond as brother and sister.
Right.
That would have made me feel great. I would have been like, wow, like two things that scare, but not like, hey, I want to be yours forever and like love you. And
for
then
sure.
Like, you're just like, come on, like you could have went any direction, right? And like, so
bro.
yeah. So
that's that through line just makes it really hard to be invested in the story, because that's the main plot line, is their relationship and him trying to save Asuna, how that intertwines. But like half of that intertwine is tainted, so you don't really feel a connection to it. You know what I mean? Whereas in the first 14, you have a seriously strong connection to Asuna and Kirito's relationship. Like, you want to see how they deal with any situation. Whereas with Lifa and him, you don't really. I don't know, man. It's just hard. It's just hard to connect with that shit. Like, I don't even really know what to even say. It's just weird.
Right? Like that's how you feel. Like, it's just weird.
It just makes me feel weird. Yeah.
And when it comes to that situation, you're like, all right, like I get it. And I guess this is gonna move into my positives, like, which is like weird to make it a positive. And my positive was like the underlying thing is they give you the terrors of being in a virtual reality.
Yeah.
Like they give you the, like, you could be like flirting with your cousin or your sister. And if you're not real, you're not gonna know. And that's gonna cause issues. Yeah. Until like something happens. So it's like it shows you the dangers of where that can go and what that can lead to.
Yeah, for sure.
It shows you like the dangers of like being too powerful.
Yeah.
And like I thought that was like a cool takeaway, but I feel like they could have made that in a better position. I liked how like the true love always conquered thing too. Yeah. Like, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And so like the ending was, do you have anything before the ending? Because I'm just gonna spoil the ending on that.
Yeah, I want to talk, like, one thing I wanted to say about is talking about Kiriko's trauma from earlier. So, like, we're talking about how this man went through like his first love interest dying, plus of his whole guild dying, having to murder somebody, then almost being killed multiple times, like all this trauma that he had to deal with. And then the villain, Sugo, makes it a point where he's like, oh, Kirito's not going to save you here, bro. He's probably too traumatized to even put the nerve gear on again. But in reality, as soon as he found out that he didn't even know if it was real. As soon as the possibility that Asuna was in that game, he put it on without hesitation, bro.
Yeah.
That just shows how strong-willed and how powerful his mental is, bro, because he went through serious trauma. But he put that all aside and powered through all of that just to save his woman, which is fucking tight.
Real yeah, he did. He's like, yo, gear on, man.
She's like, I don't give a fuck. Link start, nigga. We in there.
Yo, Link start.
Yeah, so I got a few other things. Like, I think the fights in the fairy arc are decent. Like, his first fight, when he first lands with Leafa, is pretty good, and his fight with the salamander guy when he goes dual wield is also really good. So there's definitely some good combat and good choreography to the fights in this thing for sure.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty fucking good. The moment where they reveal that Asuna's been trying to escape by memorizing his hand position on the keypad is a beautiful moment. Yep. Because I was also kind of pissed that they made Asuna like pretty much a damsel in distress, like she's not doing anything.
Okay, yeah.
But they take that away when you realize like she's trying to escape, but she has to buy her time. So I like that a lot, because I was pissed that I was like, Asuna would not be in here just waiting for nigga to save her, bro. She's real. Like, she wants Kirito to come save her, but she would try herself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they kept giving her damsel in distress, like she was powerless and like all these situations. Where like in SAO, she was just like never powerless. She was always whooping. Like even when to jump back when they went to floor 1 and there was the Imperial Army, and she rolls up and the woman's like, no, be careful, and Kiriko's like, nah, yo, my shorty got this. And
he's like, your mom's good, bro.
Like, and she does. She goes, I know this doesn't hurt you, but you ain't gonna be able to keep getting knocked down. Like,
facts.
So I do catch that feeling at the end where it was like,
I like that a lot. I like that a lot when they made you realize like she's trying to escape. That was also really fucking sick. Do I have anything else that I thought was good?
Do I? Is there something?
Not really. I think some of the character designs are good. Like the leader of the Kate Sith and the Sylphs. Yeah, I think those are good designs for sure. So there's definitely some good parts. The story is where it falls, and obviously, if a story is bad, it can't be good. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And I think that's what happened. Like, I think a lot of the situations get overshadowed because, like,
for sure,
because the story is like in most animes, it's like you can kind of let stuff go because you can get invested in like specific characters. Like, some things can be bad. Like the fighting can be good at one thing. You're like, oh, this is cool because the fighting scenes are awesome. Like, because the story doesn't really matter that much. It's just based upon like around people fighting. But when you make something that's based on a solid story and the characters are kind of like tree branches off the story. Yeah. So like without the trunk, like, yeah, you can have some cool characters, but then it's like, I mean, okay, you're the leader of the Sylph, but that like honestly had nothing, like they didn't have like a war, so like it had nothing to do.
Yeah, like, I didn't care about this race war, bro. I really did not care about it. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't care. All I wanted was Kirito to get to the World Tree. Like all the stuff with the salamanders hating the Sylphs, I didn't give a shit about that, bro. And they don't give you a reason to because you don't care.
Not enough built up. And
yeah, for sure.
Like they didn't give enough. They went so deep on Asuna that they didn't like express like why were the Sylphs upset with the salamanders? Like what was the race war? Like was it just because like someone wronged somebody? Like or was it just like how the game was created? It's like no, they hate each other. That's it. And you're like, why? And they're like, I don't know, but that's just it. But you gotta save Asuna. And you're like, yeah. Well, what's the point of sharing that with me then? Like, yeah, because you didn't even like end it. You didn't even like give us like you kind of did. Like, they
didn't end it at all, bro. No. We still don't know why the hell the salamander was attacking. Oh no, I think we do know because they wanted to attack the treaty, right? Well, we know why we were attacking them. We don't know why the races hate each other though. Yeah, like, we know why that one attack happened.
Yeah,
but we don't know how they hate each other.
Yeah.
So I don't care. I just don't care about the race war.
Oh man. So yeah, like, so at the end, Sugo is doing all this weird stuff. Kirito uses Heathcliff's login as an admin.
You should probably say that the way they get to the way you have to get to the world top of the world tree is like through a quest, and the quest is designed to be impossible unless two races do it together. Mm-hmm. So that's how he gets to the top. The Kate Sith and the Sylphs help Kirito get to the top to save Asuna. Yeah. So he gets to the top.
So yeah, he gets there, finds out that he can't get in, and then like they get there, they meet up with Asuna, and we're leaving out a little bit.
Touching reunion, bro. I was tearing up, bro.
And that was like the best part. I was so hyped.
Tearing up, dude.
I was so hype about that. Yui does her admin shit, deletes the cage, gangster shit.
OD.
and then it takes the turn for the weird again. Then it gets weird.
Oh my god.
So Sugu comes in, fucking puts gravity magic.
He cheats. Basically, he cheats. He's using magic not even in the game yet. He's a cheater.
Chains up Asuna, starts sexually assaulting her in front of
literally
Kirito.
Fucking like raping her, bro. Like he's grabbing her titties, like he's touching her thighs. I'm like, nigga. And the worst part is like Kirito can't do anything, bro. And the worst part is this man knows Kirito would fuck him up. That's why he can't let him move because he knows he would get washed.
Facts. So Kirito talks to the biggest cheater in the whole game, Kaiba.
Biggest cheater.
He goes, "Don't give up, boss. If you're about it, don't give up." Pep talks him.
I like that moment though. That's a good moment.
That was good, and that's like that's what makes Kaiba a better character, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kaiba like talks him into this, and then bang, like he gets out, kills homie.
Yeah, not even that, bro. The way he kills homie is so tight. So he uses Heathcliff's ID. So he removes the other guy's admin privileges. So he's the admin now. So he gives the guy like the top sword in the game and lets him fight him. And he still whoops his ass and then kills his ass. Like brutally kills him, bro. Like brutal.
Yeah.
Like cuts him in half, throws his head in the sky, just stabs his head, like brutally murders this guy. And not even that, he turned the pain modifier to 0. So he was feeling that was savage. So he's feeling all the pain now of him getting killed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that shit was brutal, bro.
That was probably one of the craziest scenes in an anime I've ever seen. Like,
yeah, bro. Yeah,
like,
bro.
dude,
That was brutal. And honestly, I don't blame him at all, bro. Like, that's 100% warranted for what Kido had to see and go through, and what this guy put Asuna through. It's literally warranted for him to deal with him that way.
Went nuts, just got him.
I don't blame him, bro.
That was a touching moment too. He saved her, like hugged her, said like, "Yo, we're getting out of this place, man."
Yeah, the best part is when he's like, it's gonna take a little while longer, and she relaxes. The anime is so good at showing this, bro. Like they just show her shoulders, and she's like tied up, like hands over her head, and they show her shoulders just relax because she has total faith in Kido, bro. I'm like, oh god.
That's what we wanted to like that the whole what was it?
Exactly.
10 episodes? The whole next arc, we just wanted that, and it was just like not that.
Exactly.
So this is the one part I wanted to talk about like the most. So they get out, and then he goes to see her instantly.
This is huge.
This is huge.
Yeah.
And he goes to see her instantly, and he gets to the hospital. He rides his bike. He motherfucker could have called an Uber or take like a taxi or some shit. Like
and niggas out here pedaling. I'm gonna get there quick, bro.
Yeah. And Hugo is there.
Waiting.
Slices him with a knife. And he's like, I'm gonna kill you. And this is real life.
Exactly. This is the real world now.
This is the real world.
And Sugo's like, I'm gonna murder you now.
But Sugo is messed up because he got stabbed in the face and his pain modifier was on 0, so he felt all the pain.
Exactly. So like he doesn't have the scars, but you can see, like, he doesn't have a scar of a cut per se, but you can see like the stress of the pain like put on his face. Like he has like veins popping out of his face, all this kind of weird shit. He
gets there and he's fighting with Kirito, and Kirito just goes like, he's 16 fighting a grown ass man, right? Like, which is kind of nuts.
Yeah.
And he just bodies him, bro. And then he goes into like warrior mode with a knife on his throat. Is like,
yeah, bro. And like the part, like the best part is that like when he's like on the floor and he's thinking like, am I gonna die here? Like what the fuck? And then he just flashes back of like this. He's like, this guy has no power, bro. Whether it's here or there, he has no power. So I have the powers. I'm gonna fuck him up. So that's literally just a mindset changed. And then he's like, oh, you're powerless, bro. That's why you're doing your powerless. Pulled the knife from him, had the knife to his neck.
Bro.
Cut his neck a little bit.
He screamed, bro. He said,
like, and then he didn't do it, bro.
Powerful.
Which is the best part. He didn't do it.
I thought he was going to because he has that traumatic experience of just like killing somebody. So he already killed somebody. Like he already has killed a man. So he has that feeling, and you get that feeling that he's gonna do it again.
You do. You feel like he's gonna do it again because he gets the flashback of what happened with Asuna and shit, and he's like, he gets the flashback. You know he's feeling it, and then he doesn't, which is perfect for his fucking character because he makes a point earlier that like it's not these virtual world and the real world. You're the same. It's not different, bro. Like, if you're acting a certain way in this virtual world, you're going to act the same way in the real world. So, I can't be a killer in this real world, bro. I can't do it. So, he doesn't do it. It's so good.
Yeah. So, if ends out, he sees Asuna, she's staring at the thing. They get their reunion. They kiss. Big moment. And it just, like, kind of set it at ease, you know? You're like, thank you.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, dude.
And then
we fucking wanted, man.
That's all we wanted.
The whole last like 7 episodes is what we fucking wanted. They didn't give us that shit.
And then he gets the seed. Oh, so we left that part out. He got the seed from Kaiba, which is just like a random piece.
It's just like a program for anyone can build their own like virtual MMO world or whatever. Yep. So like they can build whatever now.
They can do whatever.
Good. If that's bad or good, you never know. We'll find out.
Find out. And they meet up. They host a party for the boy, all his friends, and he has friends now in the real world.
Yeah,
he met, that was sick. I like that.
That's just tight. Hell yeah.
And that's what had me feeling like maybe it wasn't that bad. Like maybe like that's why I was like, all right, this second arc wasn't terrible. And because I needed that. I just like it was cool. Like you got those parts, and then and that was good for me. Like that was good for me.
Where
and to know that they
ending is good. Once Asuna and Kido are on the same scene together, it's good.
Yeah.
Once he's not in the scene with her, that's when it starts to possibly get finicky because who knows what the hell they're gonna do with that shit?
Who knows?
Who the fuck knows?
But yeah, they got the seed. They set it up. They shut down pretty much all the virtual reality MMOs.
That was before they got the seed. Then they got the seed, and then they started building again. Yeah.
Yep. And this is what was stupid though. Like, and this is why I hated the ending, because they combined all the seed servers, so now people can make whatever servers they want, which they needed to do that so not one person could have all the power.
Yeah. And
they went back into a VR. I'm like, you just went through all this shit, like bro, like put the gear down.
Not only did they just go into a VR, they went back to Aincrad, bro. They went back to where it all started. I'm like, how are y'all this bold, bro? Y'all not traumatized from this shit? Y'all need to take a break? Like, damn, bro.
He's like, Leaf, I want to do this with you as like brother and sister, like beat it together. I'm like, nah, bro, chill. Like, you almost suffered 2 years of death almost, bro. Calm the. If that shit ever happened to me, I would never touch VR again. Just saying,
bro. I would take a long time to get back into that shit, bro. For sure. Like, especially, I understand him jumping back, like, when Asuna was captured. But, like, when she's back, take a break, my guy.
Yeah, just let her rock for a minute, bro.
Take a break, bro.
So, that's my feelings. Like, overall, I would have gave, like, I would have gave the second arc, episodes 15 through 25, like, a hard 3.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd give it, like, a 4.
Because
there's things that are good, but the overarching story is just so bad that like you can't even think about anything good because
I think residual greatness leaked. Like the first part was so good that like even like the off-brand shit, like you're like, oh, this is like we wanted resolution, and they gave us like really shitty like abrupt resolution. It wasn't like built up resolution. It was like they could have had where the brother and the sister like work together to find Asuna. You're like, yes, they solidified the relationship. It was like, it was like that didn't happen. Okay, ending. Hey, we're gonna solidify our relationship and beat Ironcrag. It's like, why the fuck would you go there when you just could have just did this before? Like,
for sure.
Come on. Yeah, Asuna's out. Like, spend some time with Asuna. Don't go back into VR, bro.
I
like,
know, bro.
Kill your girl.
Instantly, bro.
Girl's been out for 3 years. Like. You're like, ticket.
Shit is fucking weak, bro.
So that was tough. So we gave it second arc 3.
Yeah, I give it like a 3.5. Yeah,
from near perfect
to like dog shit.
to like why like you could have done you had literally you had the seed.
Facts, facts, and y'all fucking fumbled it, bro.
Ugh, my heart, man.
Yeah, for sure.
You can just hear it in our voices. We're like,
I don't know. I'm sure our voices in the beginning was just so ecstatic, talking about the good parts, and then just deflated instantly. Oh God.
So watch it like in there. You didn't get to see Klein. Like he didn't help. Like you got like a glimpse of them. Like where were all these people? Like you didn't get like no run back like old homies like coming to help you. Like nothing. Just straight up like, hey bro, here's a whole new set, and you're in it. Like
it's not. It's rough.
From Kirito to zero.
Kirito to zero. Big facts, right? So that shit is weak.
That's life. You got anything else you want to add on there, boss? Like,
I think we kind of exacerbated this shit for sure. This shit is about to go to sleep.
Me cortisone, man. I'm logging out.
Yeah, big facts. I'm logging out too. Crazy.
Oh, dang. All right, everyone.
Thank
you for coming through.
For sure.
Remember, if you enjoy the content, you want to hang out, show some love, follow us on all social media platforms. We are on Instagram and Twitter as Dosyonkos. So give us a follow.
Yeah, for sure. Let us know what you feel, how you feel about season 1 of SAO. Let us know if you watched that shit.
Remember to use hashtag Dosyonkos so we can see these things.
Yeah, for sure.
And also remember, if you are looking for any business inquiries or trying to get a hold of us, it's dosyonkos@gmail.com. So show some love. We're glad to have you. Take it easy.
Hey, peace out.
Next time on the Dosyonkos podcast, we will be reviewing Fire Force Season 2.